we could look at business applications for things like selling. That's usually a good, fun way of doing things.
Like relationships.
Well, selling is relationships.
Yeah, I mean like within the workplace, because that's the main
Oh, yes. Business,
is like
dealing with stress in the workplace, okay, is a huge one nowadays. And what is one of the big things? What we do know about the subject of stress, when our expectations are incredibly high, above that of reality, when reality occurs, ouch, that's the frustration, that's the anger, that's the stress that we have to. And how many promises do companies make to us? How many promises do products and advertising make to us? Then when we get it, and it doesn't quite live up to the advertising. Okay. How many people have gone to, I don't know, a food chain, and you see the hamburgers or the chicken things or whatever on the pictures and go, wow, that looks spectacular, and then you get it.
nothing similar.
And any similarity is just purely coincidental, okay? It really, really is. It's your imagination. And people become addicted to their imagination more than the actual product. I know that one food chain, they know that if they can get a child by the age of 4, they've got them for life. Okay, because it's a conditioned behavioural response. Nifty? Now, the statement here is either this stuff is used against you, okay, and you have no defence to it, or you learn how to use it. And you know, those techniques that I've actually showed you this evening, earlier on, are fundamental to virtually all of the techniques that are used in business against you to get you to do whatever they would like to do. You know, scantily clad males and females having a wonderful time, product. Scantily clad males and females having a wonderful time, product. So what happens when you see the product? Okay, and therefore, regardless of what the product actually does do, you are instantly linked back to the... Now, why scantily clad males and females? Because it fires off a sexual response. We're all sexual in some way, shape or form, and so it would have a very intense emotional response. Now, are you buying the product, or are you buying the response? Okay. And so, you know, when you start to get aware of these sorts of things, all of a sudden you become, to a degree, immune to the things. And then instead of being compelled to do things, you then are in the most powerful position of all. You're in the position of choice. And I think that's choice is the place to be. So, if I'm looking at this and I'm going, you know, it's a good one. Learn how to anchor. That's a fundamental skill, so that you can just simply, you know, establish good relationships with people. All you have to do is ask them to remember good things. As they're telling you about the good things, they can't separate what they're telling you from their emotion. If you smile at that moment in time, your smile is linked to that good emotion. Is that valuable? Can you just go and do that right now? Okay? Perfect. I have to say that's possibly one of the most valuable things that you can do, either in personal or business relationships. Get someone so that every time they see you, they feel great. What do you think would happen to the quality of your relationships? Easily done? You going to go and practice it for me? Good. Next, any questions for me? No? Yeah.
So how do you work? So you run courses?
Yeah, I do. We run we run quite a number of different courses. Everything from looking at like the practitioner structure, which is a certification course, master practitioner, which actually starts on Thursday, which is really, think of it as coming to see me is a little bit like employing a taxi driver to go from point A to point B. The first level of training is you get your driver's license, and then the third level is you're under the bonnet. You know, where we're either designing or building and doing those sorts of things. And then finally, we get to the realm of driving instructor, which is trainer's training, and that's a real that's another skill altogether. But you notice they're three entirely different things. The bottom line, this isn't really this evening. This is not geared towards talking to you about training courses or any of those things. We do that sort of stuff, absolutely, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. But this evening is really geared for you to ask us questions, and to learn specific technique so that you can take this away and go, I can do something really, really good. In like the couple of techniques that we've actually presented to you this evening, how are you going to utilize them? That becomes the real question. Yeah.
Do it
Yes.
other than in person. It's a bit difficult if you're on the phone.
Oh no. You can definitely do it on the phone. Yes. There's a whole area of work that looks at the person who actually asks the question is the person who's in control, holds the power. And so over the phone, if you're asking a series of questions, what would happen if every time they were in a happy state, you went, and every time they were in a miserable state, you went, oh. I wonder how you would finish your conversations with them. And of course that would trigger their happy state again. Do you understand that? Yes, you can absolutely do it over the phone. Subtle, and it works incredibly well. Now, all that's really required is your ability to pay attention to where they are emotionally at any moment in time. And so that you can get to a point where, like personally, I always have a good hand and a bad hand. So when I'm talking to someone in a business realm, if they're talking about miserable things, I'm going. If they're talking about really, really happy things. And of course, which hand do you think I'm going to present my product with? Okay. And if they're talking about the competition, or if they're talking about, something that I really don't want them to think about too much. Gentle. Great way of doing things. It really, really is. Okay. Oh, sorry.
I'm just writing something.
Okay. So, we can do it, and we can do it collectively, in the sense of, think. You don't need to tell me. Just think about a problem that you've been having. Come on. Think about a difficulty that you've been having. Yeah. And as you think about these things, instantly you start to get a feeling on the inside of your body. Straightforward? Good. It's a behavioural anchor now, isn't it? So we could get you to look around the room, and we could look for aardvarks crossing in front of us or anything of that nature, which really is about breaking the emotional state. Then we could ask you about experiences that you've had that have been incredibly positive. What's the best deal that you've ever done? Okay. What's the happiest you've ever been? Have you ever just met someone and you just instantly like them? Good. Strange, isn't it? Now, as you're remembering those things, your brain is actually flooding the system with neural peptides, which changes your physiology, changes your attitude. Now, what I'd like you to do, okay, is to tell me something bad. Anything. You can make it up if you like.
I don't think I like my sister anymore.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. What's the feeling inside now?
Oh, it's sadness.
Okay.
I've lost my real sister.
You've lost your real sister. And what could you do with this?
Well, I'm thinking I've got to try and use this.
And
She is a master NLP practitioner.
and she doesn't even do the training.
She's just
And you and you have to understand, NLP is a subject that everybody does every minute of every day. Usually, the younger you are, the better you are at it. Okay? Now, do you know something really interesting? You're smiling.
Yeah.
And it was as simple as that. So it was a problem, but now it's a... So even as you think about your sister, what do you notice?
No, I'm still.
And we don't believe you. Why?
I didn't even notice you were doing anything.
You are smiling.
Now, you see, that is the whole point. I would have to say I would make one of the worst clinicians on the planet. Because most people come in, they sit down, they have a problem, they talk to me, they don't have a clue what it is that I'm doing, they just can't do the problem by the time they leave, and
They don't think you've done anything.
don't think I've done a thing. I'm lucky I get paid at all, okay? And in many cases, you didn't even pay attention to what it was. But the weird bit is I go, think about your sister. Okay.
Yeah, it's not as sad as it
It's changed, hasn't it?
has. I agree. Yes.
And what we've got is a smile now rather than the... And all we've done is we've rearranged the connections in the brain. And I'm saying to you, can you use your left hand and your right hand? Yes.
So I saw you use your right hand
Yes.
during the when, sorry, I don't know your name, but when you were explaining
Yeah.
what was the problem.
Yes.
But I didn't see you mess it up. Like I didn't see you.
You didn't have to.
Okay.
All we did is, we'll think about the sister.
So you like behavior anchoring to that.
That's all I'm doing. And so we've gone happy, 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 happy. Good. No, that was, in this instance, it was happy, 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 happy. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, excuse me. That's how sneaky I am. Okay. So I've done problem. Good. Aardvark. You know the before aardvarks? It was before aardvarks. Then I've gone aardvarks. Then I've gone happy, 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 happy. Good. Now talk to me about your sister. And that happens.
But what that actually means, like if I'm right, that practically whatever we feel, remember,
Yes.
any kind of our emotional response,
Yes.
it's actually some anchoring that happened accidentally,
Thank you.
No, it must have.
which is like
You just re-anchored
really
on the top.
unbelievable. It was really unbelievable. So that means, I mean, I understand that like you don't have a relationship with the person, but with your perception of the person,
Yeah.
blah blah. That's all theory, but when you are in it and you have all these emotions, like this practically means that our emotions are not real.
Our
That's
emotions...
something that I can't kind of really
Okay.
say.
You have to get... Our emotions are absolutely real.
That's so.
Okay. However, what an emotion is fuel to drive the body into action. I go, there's a tiger behind you. And you go, no, there's not.
Yeah.
There's no desire to do anything. You just sit there. There's no tiger. Because you know that there's no tiger. Right up until the moment. In fact, there's heavy breathing behind you. There's a sense of a big animal behind you. And instantly did you notice that you had to look? Because adrenaline started to release into the system, which drives you into the action. Now, we on a daily basis have tens of thousands of thoughts. And we're all homicidal maniacs. No, we're not. Because many of them are not attached to the emotional component required to drive it into action. All we're really looking at from in this structure is things that are attached to appropriate emotions will take us in appropriate directions. Things that are attached to other emotions will take us in different directions. The question now is, which one and which direction do you want to go in? Really, that's your clinical practice. Really, that's your business practice. Really, that's your... It's just a key to another way of doing things. So how about we have a drink?